choppers. Yeah, choppers on choppers on choppers on choppers. Smoke like a roster. My bitch ass fat and so is my pockets. Everybody know what? I keep a bankroll on me and a rocket. In the leg, no. I'm aiming straight at your motherfucking noggin.
Yo, welcome back to the channel. I am Kwamega, man, from Chicagoland. First and foremost, I just want to say rest in peace to Young Dolph. My condolences to his entire family. And I want to send my well wishes and regards to the owners of the business that he was in when he was killed. And any workers or any other patrons who might have been there who, you know, went through this tragic and traumatic event. Because, you know, we can only imagine what was going on through their heads and through their minds as they suffered a near-death experience. But at the same time, as the intro to this video has shown, you know, Young Dolph unfortunately promoted a lifestyle similar to the very lifestyle that claimed his life. Now, I understand that that wasn't the only thing that he rapped about, but he rapped about homicide and glorified killing more than enough. And in the words of DJ Quick,
some don't realize the power of lyrics, because when you rap about death, you're talking to spirits. You see, you can say the things that can help us all, or you can say things that make it bad for us all.
And I agree wholeheartedly with DJ Quick on that one, because there is power in the tongue, and you get what you give. You open up that door when you discuss certain things or when you promote certain things. So I just really want us to use moments like these to really take heed to that and to keep that in mind going forward. Now, I know a lot of people will give me pushback saying that it's only music and music is just entertainment and that it doesn't really have any other impact. But I absolutely disagree with that. I think that music is an extremely powerful tool. It's an extremely pervasive medium, and the powers that be know this, which is why the conglomerates, the major power players in media, pay a lot of money to representatives of our community in order to promote certain lifestyles and cultures within our community that are degenerative, that are the opposite, the antithesis of growth. And, you know, the proof is in the truth. Just look at our communities today. Just look at what's going on in our communities today. You know, homicide rates in various cities. You know, Chicago is set to have another, you know, pretty high year of murders. And, you know, Chicago is no exception. There's other places too. I believe Memphis too is having a very bad year as far as homicide is concerned. I haven't really checked the numbers specifically yet, but I've read plenty of comments from strangers on the internet who pretty much share the sentiments or the concern that I see a lot of citizens sharing for their cities. And it's music, like we saw in the intro, that really just helps perpetuate these violent cycles in our community. And if you really want to look at it as intellectually as you can, just look at what music actually is. Look at the root word of music, the etymology of music. Music comes from the word muse, M-U-S-E. Now, what's a muse? A muse is a source of inspiration. So music has the power to inspire. And I'm sure you all know that. Like, there's no secret there. There should be no secret there. All of you all should know that, because I often hear people who listen to music that I wouldn't recommend one listen to say that it motivates me. It gives me motivation. And yeah, that's what music is meant to do. It's meant to inspire. But just how it can inspire us to do positive things, it can also inspire us to do negative things depending on the messages of the music. and we just got to keep it real. The messages in too much of Young Dolph's music was not really positive, was not really uplifting for our community. And let's just examine how other ethnicities got to be looking at us right now, because, you know, they see a lot of us, you know, mourning the loss of this young man's life, which is absolutely normal and absolutely okay. But the way we make martyrs and fallen heroes out of people who really weren't the best reflections of our community is not a good reflection on our community. And it's moments like these that really make that fact just ever so clear, because you see a lot of comments online where people are just painting Young Dolph out to be just this good Samaritan, but without really balancing that with the type of lifestyle and the messages he promoted in his music, which weren't positive. So if we were to do a cost-benefit analysis, or if we were to balance the equities, you know, weigh the good versus the bad, you know, what would you say? Would you say his charitable deeds, which weren't nearly as publicized as the promotion of violence and hedonism and vanity in his music, you know, what would you say has more of an impact on our community? What would you say has more of a reflection on him and his family? What would you say is going to impact his legacy more? The messages in his music, or the less known good deeds, altruistic deeds that he did in fact commit, you know, while he was here? I think his legacy will be far more impacted by the message in his music than the altruism that he engaged in while he was here. Because him passing out turkeys for Thanksgiving, it's very, very commendable. But we also have to recognize that he may have contributed to a lot of damage in our communities too, with his music, and just with the level of influence that he's been given, you know, by the powers that be, who were hoping that his music would inspire a lot of degradation and a lot of degeneracy in our communities, which I believe it has. And it's not just his music, it's a lot of people's music. So I'm not really just trying to single him out, but he's just somebody else that falls into that category. And beyond that, you know, while I believe that we should try to put positive stuff out there as much as possible and try to avoid putting negative stuff out there as much as possible, we have to just accept certain things as well. Like, so if he's going to be a gangster rapper, a gangster artist, or, you know, a trap rapper, if that's what you insist on doing, then there's certain ways that you should navigate in spite of that, in light of that. So, you know, riding around in a camouflage painted car, a Lamborghini, mind you, and publicizing your whereabouts, knowing that you have enemies and knowing that people are out to take your life. You know, there were multiple attempts on his life in the past. So if you know that you have people gunning for you, then I would hope that you would move much more cautiously. And unfortunately, he didn't. Unfortunately, it seemed that he was just too comfortable. And I understand he was in his own city or in his own hood, but I'm from Chicago, and the majority of homicides, I'd be willing to guess, are people dying in their own hoods, people dying very close to where relatives of theirs live. So I'm not saying that he deserved any of this, but what I am saying is that we got to be mindful of not only the types of messages that we put out in our music, but if we're going to commit to making a certain type of music that isn't positive or that will not invite positivity into our lives, then we need to move a certain way to counteract that. And unfortunately, he didn't really take heed and didn't move as carefully as he should have. So again, rest in peace to Young Dolph, and my condolences to his family. My condolences to his entire team, any employees of his, because I understand that he owned multiple businesses. And let me say this, in addition to that, when you get to a certain level, when you're employing people and you are an entrepreneur who has employees, when you're a CEO, you have even more of a social responsibility to make sure that you're moving in a very secure manner, because you have other people's livelihoods at stake and you have other people depending on you for their livelihood. So I hope that nobody is too negatively or financially impacted, by this tragic loss, because, I'm sure he employed a number of people. And it's just it's tragic, and I hope that that anybody out there that is in a similar position as Young Dolph, if they can use this as a teachable moment to straighten up and fly right, as they say, even though the powers that be are hell-bent on keeping us in a degenerative state, keeping us at war with each other, keeping us, glorifying all of these low vibrational things. I hope that it's more people out there who are using incidents like these as a wake-up call to improve their thought patterns, their lives, to incorporate more discipline into their lives, and to just be better people. So dedicating this to the community members out there who need to do better and the ones who want to do better. All right. So again, condolences to the fam. Peace and love to everybody. I am Kwamega Man from Chicagoland. See you on the next one.